do that. Thank you. Somebody just reminded me to hit the record button. Thank you so much. So welcome again to Saturday Book Club. It is October 16th, and we are going to wrap up Element 3 today. And we have the lovely Adrienne helping us to finish that up. And you can take yourself off mute if you'd like. I wasn't sure if it was you and hubby or just you.
It's me and hubby, Anthony.
All right, Anthony's with you?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so welcome everybody. Oh, you guys are in 2 different states, I bet.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna dive right in. If you have your life book, open it to Element 3. We're gonna start there, and I will let you guys take it on over.
All right. Well, we're excited, absolutely enthralled about the idea of sharing with you guys today. I want to get my timer set and make sure that we stay on point. For those of you that don't know, I'm Anthony Williams, and I am co-hosting with my lovely bride,
Adrienne.
All right, and as was stated, we're in 2 totally different states right now. We're usually together, but I'm in Mississippi and she's there in California, but that's okay. That's absolutely okay. We have the same mind, the same heart, and the same vision that Dr. A has, and that's to help as many people as we can to get healthy. And we started with us first. So we're just happy to be not only certified coaches, but we're clients first and foremost. You know, this program is absolutely tremendous. And so we're happy about that. And this is an integral part of it that we're talking about right now, the education through the book club. So we welcome each and every one of you, and we're glad that you are here with us. We're in Element 3, as already has been stated. And how do you create what you want? How do you create what you want? And so that's what we're going to discuss, and hopefully bring some things to your awareness that's going to help you in this awesome journey. All right, it was stated we're in page 77 of your life book. And so when you think about the 6 macro habits of health, it all starts with a choice. But here's a question. For those of you that this may be your very first time in the book club, would you put a 1 in the chat, please? Just a 1. Let us know if this is your first time being on the book club, or if you're absolutely new. Wow.
Awesome. So glad you guys made the decision to do your own push-up.
Push-up. Welcome. All right. So when I mention this term, you may be unfamiliar with it, the 6 macro habits of health. But in order to obtain or make some changes, especially health-wise, it's going to start with you making a decision, a choice. And so let's say we have these 6 choices, and some of you are saying, because maybe you're unfamiliar with it, well, what are they? Well, the 6 macro habits of health. 1 is healthy weight management. 2 is healthy eating and hydration. 3 is healthy sleep and energy management. 4 would be a healthy mind. 5, healthy motion. 6, healthy surroundings. Those are the 6 macro habits of health. So let's say you're going to make a decision, and most people, for the most part, when they're posed with those 6 options, they'll choose, I want healthy weight. I need to get my weight healthy. Okay. And so what Dr. A was teaching us in this Element 3 regarding the healthy weight management. After you make a choice, he says the very next thing that you run into now is structural tension. When you make a choice to do something, the next thing is structural tension.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I came into program, I found out, guys were slinging terms around and words around and expressions around. I had no clue. And so some of you, when I say structural tension, especially if you're new, you're saying, well, what is structural tension? What is he talking about? Well, structural tension is really, if I can maybe simplify it, it's the difference between your current now and your future reality. Structural tension. Mm-hmm. The difference between your current now and your future reality. I know where I am right now. I know exactly where my health is. I know exactly where my weight is right now. How do I get where I want to go? Man, so that's the tension. With me, it was like, I was 252 pounds in June of 2021. And where I wanted to go was to 170 pounds. And that was my structural tension. How do I get there? How do I pull this off? And so one of the things that I've found in reading this a lot of times, and some of the other readings, is that when we have the issue with our weight or whatever, we will make a knee-jerk reaction. You get sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? You're just tired of it. I got to do something. I got to do something. And I don't know, the impetus might have been something you watched on television that excited you about getting healthy, and you saw some guy ripped. Man, he just ripped, and you said, doggone it, that's me. I don't want the dad bod anymore. and so you leap off your couch and you run out and you join the gym, and then it's like, well, I got a membership. And the emotional and adrenaline pump, man, it just burns out. It just goes away, and you're still right where you were, from the beginning. So Dr. A began to teach us in this the things that we need to do as it relates to divine tension, and how we can get from your current now to your future reality. How you can get there, and what is it going to take. And so he began to put some things in place. I heard something else that he stated, and I hear many of the leaders in this business say that that kind of blows me away, because I like, when I first heard it, I said, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I didn't get it. Dr. A says that you act in the now and you lead from the future. And I said, what? How do I act in the now and lead from the future? How do I do that? And how does that coincide with this structural tension? Well, once you put in place and you see what you need to get from point A to point B, then you begin, somebody said actions.
That creates the reality you want. Wow.
Yeah. So now that's what we're going to begin to do. We're going to start to set up. And my wife is going to go into more detail about this. But then you're going to start setting up some micro habits. Now, these micro habits that are going to be set in place are going to be the things that are going to enable you to transition from where you currently are to where you want to be. And I'm going to say this here before I turn it over and let my wife go forth. The interesting thing that I found when he said you act in the now, and this is what began to make it click for me, that you you act in the now and you lead from the future. What made it click for me was I started thinking about guys that are sculptors, and especially some of these guys, man, that sculpt ice and sculpt, get a chainsaw and sculpt with those things. It's like all you see is a block of wood or a block of ice or a block of clay. That's all you see. That's where it is there. But in their mind, here's that divine, that structural tension. In their mind, they see what they want. And so then they put into place, get that chainsaw and start cutting on that wood. And when you and I come by, we see this beautiful creation, but it was everything that happened from getting cut down and just becoming a big piece of wood to them trimming it and molding it till it becomes this beautiful piece of art. And so that begins to make it more clear to me that it's the actions that I'm going to be taking now that's going to cause what I see in the future to become a reality. My 170 pounds. And guess what? I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Look, I'm actually about 29 pounds away from my goal because of the action and the micro habits that are giving me the wins that are propelling me to where I want to go. Okay, yeah. Honey.
All right.
Let's not forget also, October 23rd is going to be powerful because it's going to be, guess what? The subject is going to be actually how to survive the holidays. Yeah, and that's a tremendous challenge. And so we're going to be sharing about that next Saturday. Okay, honey, take it away.
Okay. Well, hi guys again. Adrienne over here in California. And I wanted to talk about, this is something that when I read it, it hit me smack dab in the middle of my head saying, that's you, that's where it is. One of the things that I love about the Life book and the Habits of Health book is that Dr. A puts words to what I was thinking and what was going on. And he just kind of describes it so well. I know I'm not the only one who felt like that, where he put words to what you were thinking and you couldn't put words to. Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. If he put words to what was going on in your life. Yeah, well, I know I wasn't the only one. One of the things, the micro habits, that was one of the things that hit me really hard, because one thing I always did, and we'll get into this, let me first go and say the definition of a micro habit of health. If you turn to page 87 in your book, is by definition easy to do and always within your ability in terms of ease or effort. Wow. Anytime I wanted to change something, I was trying to do something big, something way too big. Like getting off all of a sudden I want to go to the gym and I want to run on the treadmill 5 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour, when I was sitting on the couch before that, not even walking. Has anybody done anything like that? Anybody have an experience to share like that? Can I get some people to come on and share that experience of maybe making something too big ahead of time? Do I have anyone? I don't see if I see any hands up, but I want to hear your stories. Okay. I'm not looking through. If you see a hand, Julie, can you call them?
I'll share.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
I'll share. Yeah, that was my story for most of my adult life, of doing nothing. And then And then getting to the point where, you know, and it was different things that triggered it. It was photos that were embarrassing. It was maybe trying to go surf and realizing that I was only able to ride a longboard, that I needed to lose some weight. So, and I tried everything, but it was always 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is you could get there because we all have different levels of motivation and willpower. But yeah, so what you were talking about there, the Habits of Health and the Life book. In the Habits of Health book, it talks about, I think it's on page 79 or 80. It talks about emotional, right? When we're making that emotional decision and that emotional loop, basically there's tension created, not structural tension, but emotional tension when we see something, whatever that trigger is, embarrassment, whatever our reason is for wanting to take some action. But as soon as we take that action, that tension starts to lessen because it's based on emotions, right? So we feel bad about ourselves. So we start doing something about it.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, now that we're doing something about it, we feel better about ourselves. Like, hey, we're doing something. Well, as soon as that tension starts to back off, so does the action. And that creates that habit, that cycle, that loop of, you know, I'm going to join a gym.
Yeah.
And then why don't I go to the gym? Because joining the gym is all it took for us to feel better about we're taking some action. So yeah, totally relate to that. I know I'm not the only one. It's not just me and you, but yeah, and it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and structural tension is definitely the key to breaking that cycle.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for sharing and adding so much to that. That's exactly, I saw that in the Habits of Health book and I said, that's me right there. I do that every single time. But what helped me with this, if you can turn to page 86.
Hey, Adrienne. Allan raised his hand. I think he wanted to add a little bit to the conversation too. I'd love to have another share.
Yeah, Allan.
I just saw his hand pop up.
Yeah, hey, sorry, I'm still new to some of these little interactions. My story is really similar to Brian's, down to the longboard and surfing and whatnot. But I think something that's healthy to remember is, you know, when we're thinking of structural tension as like a rubber band, remembering where we're at in that. We're not the one pulling the rubber band. You know, we're not trying to keep these two things apart, where we're at now and where we're going. We're the projectile, you know, we're the thing that's getting drawn to it. So we're allowing that structural tension to constantly be pulling us towards our goal. I think sometimes, at least for me, as I was learning about structural tension, I'm getting that visual of the rubber band or the bowstring, however you want to throw it out there. But I struggled to kind of realize where I fit into that picture. So I just wanted to add that to him there.
Thank you, Allan. Thank you so much for adding that. It's valuable. Well, yeah, let's go to page 86 in our life book. And Dr. A has us to ask ourselves to prepare to install a new habit is first, is it appealing? Is it something that I'm motivated to do? And we know that even when we start something, it may not be something that that we're overly motivated to do, but we know we need to do it. So sometimes it's for that reason. But we want to know, is our level of motivation there, the desire to do it? Also, is it achievable? Yeah, that's where I was failing each time. Is it achievable? Can I actually do it? And one of the things that hit me about that was saying that, you know, I want to be able to do this on my worst day. Will I still want to do it on my worst day? So that's a part of making it achievable. And is it easily activated? Can I have a prompt that can remind me to do it? I highlighted over here on page 87, which I just talked about before. It says in the middle, imagine that your secondary habits of health have been made so small in terms of effort that you can do them even on your worst day. That wasn't me. And I said, wow. And if you turn with me, page 91, I love this because it really hit me. And we're able to see Dr. A walk one of his clients through it. And it starts, says, for those who are thinking, how can one push-up or sit-up or writing 25 words in your life book make a difference? Let me give you an example. I was working with a grandmother who had lost considerable weight and who was starting to increase her activity in the habits of healthy motion. And I asked her what she wanted to work on, and she said that she would like to have more strength in her upper body so she could carry her grandchild in her arms. And I was so, oh, that was so touching. And she said she wanted to start doing push-ups. She suggested doing 5 a day to start. First thing I said, 5 a day, that's not gonna make any difference. But if I could go back and every time I wanted to start something, start smaller and be consistently doing that and then increasing, I would be at a way higher level than that big thing I wanted to do. And I started it for a day and then I was done with it and didn't go back to it. But she said she wanted to start doing push-ups. She suggested doing 5 a day to start. I asked her how many she was capable of doing currently, and she actually had difficulty doing 1. And that's where I am so many times, that I'm having difficulty just doing something that's easier, but I want to do something way harder than that because I feel like, you know, if I don't push myself hard enough, I'm not going to make that change. But in her doing 1, a modified 1, and doing it consistently, and then building on that, you know, she was able to, you know, it was something that was made simple that she didn't have to miss. And she was able to build up that strength, as he said, going down by the 3rd month, she was able to do a traditional push-up and switch to this being her micro habit of health. And in the last month, she averaged 5 a day traditional push-ups, and more importantly, sent me a picture of her holding her grandson. This installing the micro habits, making something that is doable so that you can reach your goal, it's major. It is major. And that's what I wanted to bring to you as you are changing, transforming one healthy habit at a time, and you're installing these micro habits of health. Make it something doable that even on your worst day, you're going to want to do it. That's what I have for you. I'm loving the comments. Small doable habits equal big wins. Consistency is something that is so important. So if we can change those things, just one healthy habit at a time, we're going to see that goal, that future goal of where we want to be. Thank you.
Love it, Adrienne. Love it so much. Thank you so much for sharing. This is, it's funny that I opened with the push-ups.
Yes.
I did not know she was going to read that story, but man, it all just comes together. Thank you, Anthony, as well, for sharing today on element 3. Guys, this is what our program is. It's small steps over time that add up to big wins. Some of us were on a training this week and they talked about, are we just trying to gain yardage each week, or are we trying to get a touchdown on everything every single week? And then we become discouraged because we've placed this expectation that is unrealistic. And I hate the word, let's be realistic, but when it comes to our health, the truth of the matter is you cannot tackle every single habit that you've built over the last 30 or 40 years in 1 week and expect them all to change. It's not going to happen, and you will be disappointed and you will throw in the towel and you will quit. And then it will take you a long time to get back to it because you're hurt by that, because you set an expectation for yourself that there's just no way that's going to happen. It has to be done over time. So set those small achievable goals this week, and give yourself a pat on the back for the tiny little things that you change. If you add 8 ounces of water today, man, celebrate that. If you get in your life book and you read 5 minutes a day for 5 days in a row, or even 3 days in a row, celebrate that. That is something that you are changing. And these things are sustainable. Big leaps and, things that you're trying to change everything at one time, it's overwhelming. And so I just want to encourage you this week, pick one thing, send that thing to your coach that you are going to do, that you are going to follow through with this week, in service to your why, and ask your coach to hold you accountable to what you set out to do. And if you don't hit the mark exactly, man, don't give up. Just keep going. Set that goal again. It takes more than a couple days to install a habit. It takes 66 days of consistency. So let's choose things that we can do consistently for that amount of time, to get us there. I'm going to tell you right now, my thing is going to be to sit here right now after book club, and we're over time, so we got to wrap it up. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read my 5 minutes right now. It starts today. It starts with me. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it every day this week. Okay. Michelle's with me. You guys with me? All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to close us out. Please, please, please jump on next week. It is a special how to survive the holidays with your health. And I know you'll be blessed by it. Have a great Saturday.
All right.